Hey YouTube, my name is Roland, and today I have a video for you guys about my first attempt at carving a spoon. So I think the first mistake I made while carving the spoon was choosing the wrong type of wood. I used what I believe is an elm tree from one of my neighbors that I helped them remove it from their yard. So right now I'm batoning it, and it's already pretty difficult to baton it. And I think that was probably my first mistake because this wood was so hard that I actually ended up cutting myself by accident that you'll see at the end of the video. There's a little bit of blood, it's not too bad, but I think I should have started off with a softer wood since I'm a beginner, and I think that would have been much more safe and easy wood to teach myself on. I think another mistake that I made was not leaving a uh, second handle on the front of the spoon, on the nose of the spoon, because with that second handle I could hold on to the front and still carve the other side of the spoon without cutting towards my own hand, because I ended up having to hold on to a tiny bit of the bowl as I'm cutting away from my hand along the handle, and that was pretty difficult. So I wish I'd left had a longer spoon from the beginning so that I could trim off the end, the nose of it, after I'd completed with carving the spoon and the bowl of the spoon and the handle. I think one of the good decisions that I made while carving the spoon was the knife that I chose for the initial uh, large carving, which is the Pathfinder PLSK1. It's a very large knife, but it does a really good job at removing large chunks of wood and batoning and chopping, as you see me do. I really enjoyed that knife, and it worked great for the large tasks. I think one of the more safe techniques that I used while carving this was keeping the knife backwards and then using my left hand to pull the wood away from the knife, and which provided some really good leverage for some deep cuts, but was very safe. Once I got the general shape of the spoon, kind of a paddle spoon-like shape, I switched over to the flex cut carving jack, which is an awesome kind of a multi-tool designed specifically for carving wood and whittling, and it comes razor sharp. And I made sure to strop, every 10 or 15 minutes or so once it kind of felt a little sluggish, but it performed extremely well with the task of carving. One thing that really helped when I was carving was to draw the general shape of the spoon with the knife, and having that outline really made a surprising difference with visualizing what I was doing in my head and making sure I stayed on the right path and didn't remove too much. I decided to switch back to the Pathfinder PLSK1 because I did not have enough removed from the handle. So I started chopping using my outline, the path that I carved, as a guideline to get a whole lot more volume removed from the handle of the spoon. I switched back to the carving jack because I wanted to remove a smaller amount of the spoon, and I did a little bit of work on the handle and some on the bowl of the spoon as well. I switched to the 90-degree gouge scorp on the flex cut carbon jack, and found it pretty difficult to cut towards my thumb without going too far. I mean, the wood was so hard that I had to put quite a bit of force behind it, and I was worried about hitting myself. So you see me kind of uh, going back and forth trying to figure out how to use this tool, and I decided to switch over to the hook knife. And just fair warning, I'm about to stab myself pretty good in the thumb with this.
can't stand my leg.
So now the question is, what went wrong? I mean, for most people, it's pretty obvious. I was cutting towards myself. Found it difficult to use the hook knife with the direction that it faces, and ended up stabbing myself because of it. Um, I later learned a little bit better how to use it. I put it in my left hand and kind of leverage it to the side, and that worked much better. It was far more safe. And but you can see I got myself here pretty good. I actually think it may have hit bone. It stopped pretty abruptly and uh, ended up bleeding pretty good. Well, thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe.